Welcome, friends. I'm grateful you've chosen to be here today. Every time you come back, every time you listen, it's not just support, it's a movement. You're helping shine a light for countless souls who are searching for answers, for healing, for freedom. Now, let's step into the heart of the matter. The narcissist isn't blind. No, the narcissist studies every detail like a hawk. Every shift in your tone, every flicker in your eyes. It doesn't escape notice. The narcissist knows when something has changed. The mask begins to tremble when you start to discern the truth, and that truth terrifies them. Why does it rattle them so deeply? Because this isn't about losing a companion. It's about losing oxygen. A narcissist survives on supply, attention, admiration, control. Even your anger, even your tears. Feed them. That's the lifeblood they draw from you. But when that supply is cut off, the very foundation of their being begins to quake. You're not just seeing flaws anymore. You're seeing the hollow space behind the curtain. You're seeing the insecurity they hide under layers of charm and manipulation. And that vision shakes them to the core. Don't mistake their panic for love. Don't mistake the frenzy for care. It's desperation, a frantic clawing to keep their world from falling apart. They fear losing control, because losing you means losing the mirror that props up their fragile identity. So let's walk together through the signs, the warnings that reveal you are piercing through the illusion. 1. You stop arguing. When you no longer engage in their endless battles, it's like an alarm bell ringing in their spirit. Why isn't there a fight? Why aren't the lies being challenged? They wonder. Silence, your silence, speaks louder than 1,000 words. And it sends them spiraling, because the old script has been torn apart. 2. You grow cold, distant. There was a time when their words would stir you up, draw out your emotions, pull you into the storm. But now you've stepped back. You've put space between their chaos and your peace. That icy calm unsettles them, because it means their hooks are slipping from your heart. 3. You withdraw. The moment you pull back, the narcissist senses the unraveling. Out of nowhere, you might hear, "Do you still love me?" Those words aren't born of love. They're a test, a desperate probe to see if you're still bound to their net. And when they betrayed you, even been unfaithful, those same words come as bait, right after the wound they inflicted. Their sudden, "I love you" isn't a confession. It's a tactic to reel you in again, because withdrawal threatens their grip more than anything else. 4. You choose yourself. When you start saying no, when you begin creating excuses just to avoid their presence, something shifts in the heavens. Suddenly, you're not orbiting around their sun anymore. You're building your own life, prioritizing your own joy, and the narcissist despises it. They want to be the center of your universe. But when you move away, they'll rush in with another flood of affection, another storm of love bombing. It's not love. It's fear. It's panic. 5. You're no longer always available. Once, the narcissist will hold you on the phone for hours, draining your spirit, binding your time. Now, you let the calls go. You focus on your children, your home, your work, your peace. And that absence, that refusal to pour yourself endlessly into their demands, feels like death to them. They panic because their words no longer control you. 6. The accusations begin. When your eyes start to open, when your soul begins to pull away, the narcissist feels it in their bones. And what do? They hurl accusations. You must be with someone else. You're not answering the phone. You can't meet me this weekend. Someone else must be in the picture. That's the cry of projection. They're pointing at you, but it's their own shadow they're describing. The truth is simpler. You've just stopped feeding their endless appetite. You've stopped bending your life around their demands. But instead of seeing your growing strength, the narcissist imagines betrayal. Why? Because your refusal to prioritize them feels like abandonment, and that emptiness inside of them can't handle it. 7. You stop chasing. There comes a moment when you no longer search for answers from them, when you no longer beg for clarity, when silence feels like the only refuge. You stop asking where they are, what they're doing, why they vanished. The craving dies. And that silence? It shakes the narcissist like thunder rolling across a valley. They ask, "Why are you so quiet? What's wrong with you? Are you playing games?" They twist your stillness into something it's not, because they can't imagine that you've simply stepped out of the cycle. With a narcissist, whether you speak or stay silent, you're condemned either way. But your silence is power. It declares, I don't need you. I can breathe without you. And nothing terrifies them more than the sound of your independence. 8. You guard your heart. Once you spoke freely. Once you opened the doors of your soul, trusting they were as genuine as you were. But then the veil lifted. You saw the deception, the manipulation, the toxic patterns. And slowly you closed the door. You began to share less. You withheld your secrets, your feelings, your dreams. That wall you build ignites their panic. Because a narcissist wants total access to your thoughts, your emotions, your life. They despise concealment. And when they realize you no longer trust them, they scramble. The love bombing returns. Suddenly, you hear words drenched in desperation. What can I do to make you trust me? What can I say to bring you back? But here's the truth. Trust doesn't return with sweet words. It doesn't rise again with empty promises. And when their tricks no longer work, the narcissist looks for another stage, another audience, another soul to manipulate. They were grooming replacements long before the curtain fell with you. They don't leap into a new relationship out of nowhere. They've been weaving that net behind your back all along. And so the cycle repeats. New supply, fresh love bombing, another soul blinded by the performance. But your guarded silence, your refusal to open the door again, tells a narcissist one thing clearly. You've seen through the mask. You are no longer theirs to control. 9. They push you to throw them away. The last card the narcissist plays is subtle but sharp. They want you to be the one who ends it. Why? Because shame is the one thing they can't carry. If they can get you to walk away, they can walk free, untarnished, in their own eyes, at least. So they provoke. They withhold. They grow cold. The warmth disappears and all that's left is a body in the room, but no soul behind the eyes. They'd rather you grow disgusted. So when you finally say, I've had enough, they can play the victim. They spin the tale. I didn't do anything. They just walked out. Must have been seeing someone else. And the world buys it because the narcissist polishes the lie until it gleams. That's what makes the reverse discard so deadly. You carry the weight they should bear. You wrestle with guilt that doesn't belong to you. You wonder if you gave enough, if you stayed long enough, if maybe, just maybe, they really cared. And that's exactly what they want. But let me tell you the truth. Your breaking point wasn't failure, it was freedom. You didn't leave because you lacked love. You left because you finally saw there was no love on the other side. What you faced wasn't intimacy, it was emptiness. What you carried wasn't partner. It was a burden wrapped in lies. The narcissist counts on your doubt. They want you to look back. They want you to wonder. But you don't need to. Remember what drove you to leave. Remember the lies, the gaslighting, the silence that screamed louder than words. Hold on to that memory, because it's your compass pointing to truth. And here's where the deeper current runs. The love you long for doesn't come from manipulation. It doesn't come from someone who deceives. It comes from a higher place, a truer place. God's love isn't conditional. It isn't transactional. It isn't dangled like bait. The narcissist's love is a performance. God's love is a promise. When you step out of that toxic circle, you're stepping into freedom that was waiting for you all along. You're reclaiming your worth. You're remembering that your value was never meant to be determined by another person's broken reflection. The chains fall. The fog lifts. You see clearly not just who the narcissist was, but who you are. These 9 signs, they're not just warnings. They're mile markers on the road to your freedom. They reveal when the mask is cracking, when the illusion is falling apart, when the game is over. And when you see them, you know the narcissist's hold is broken. So keep walking. Keep healing. Don't look back. The journey ahead is brighter than the storm you survived.